As the battle of the speakership rages on, I feel bad that there has not been a competent person from within the NRM to take on the Speaker of Parliament, Anita MAO. Ever since we got our independence, Anita MAO is the worst speaker to ever appear in the August House. Corruption allegations, poor administration of Parliament, etc. Even it's the reason why even Norbert Mao has gotten momentum, because trust me, Norbert Mao is a better option than Anita MAO, though I don't think NRM can see that a big position to an outsider who has less members of Parliament who even don't support him. But Norbert Mao came out and gave a presentation which I concur with. He said these statements.
I'm not a member of the National Resistance Movement, but I challenge the National Resistance Movement that out of your millions and millions of members, you can't find somebody better than somebody who has messed up Parliament. Are you so poor? It doesn't have to be me. But I also told them that now that we have this cooperation agreement, which under Article 7 allows us to introduce new areas of cooperation. And we are proposing that the speakership becomes a new area of cooperation. We are actually acting within the cooperation agreement. That is to be discussed. It requires agreement. If our partners don't agree, that's okay. But you cannot say, I'm not even going to discuss it. Instead, you find people saying, stay in the compound, don't enter the bedroom.
That is Norbert Mao. I agree that with the entire NRM cannot fail to bring someone who is a better option. And for me, I highly thought that Thomas Taiba would unseat Anita MAO. He's the best candidate because he's the deputy speaker. But there are also others who have money who can campaign. In this world, normally, if people don't step up for position of leadership, bad leaders emerge because they front themselves. How can you tell me that in the entire NRM we've failed to get someone who has momentum, who's willing to campaign and give it his whole? Anita MAO cannot continue to be Speaker of Parliament. It downgraded the August House. It presides over the House with emotions, corruption allegations. Okay? You clearly see that the bar was lowered so low. But also, I think Genome 7 can retain her because of one, even the household sanctioning is the first speaker to be sanctioned. He can retain her because he may want to use her like a horse king stick, most especially when you're going to transition. But of course, even if Genome 7 wants to use her like a horse king stick, there are even more favorable working sticks who cannot demean the house to such a level. Okay? Do you remember when Rebecca Kadaga was presiding over the house? Literally everything that Genome 7 wanted passed through the house. But of course, he was a better speaker when it comes to administration, etc. Some of the things were questioned. Anita MAO lowered the bar so low. In fact, even Norbert Mao went on to speak about corruption in Parliament. It was the first time when this level of corruption was unearthed in the August House. Remember the exhibition, the parliamentary exhibition, where even opposition members, leaders of opposition were sent on a parliamentary commission to speak for the opposition and got 500 million shillings. Nobody wants to say these statements.
That finally the president has repeated that adui number one is corruption. So, if you have someone who has been identified with corruption, it only means that that person will attract also the corrupt. The president went further by even calling out Honorable Sise Namuju, who is one of the top campaigners of the incumbent speaker, and asked her, how many days did you spend in prison? And said, you know, this one I arrested her. But now she's my friend because she has given me information about other thieves who I'm now going to tackle. What message does that send to you? So if you say you are fighting malaria, can you be a friend to mosquitoes? Also, if there is somebody with a stench of corruption, you know, a stench will attract flies. And if you, however much you spray the flies, the only way to get rid of them is to remove the stench and throw it away. The flies will follow it wherever it will go. This is what I witnessed in Chankwanze. And I repeat, this is really not so much about me. That's why I'm rather relaxed, because I'm not very desperate. There are those who are saying that MAO is using this to bargain for a bigger position. Being a minister is a very big position. But also, a minister serves the president. I don't do my job. I do the president's job as a minister. As a matter of fact, on the 12th, we are handing over to the permanent secretary. All ministers are handing over to the permanent secretary. And then you wait for the president to form his government, because he's the one who has executive power. So why do people talk as if they must die in a particular position? It is up to the president to decide. For me, I'll remain member of parliament elect. As member of parliament elect, I'm ready for anything, because appointments to the cabinet are a prerogative of the president. He is the one to decide who he wants to assign what position. But I think he saw in me something, and that's why he kept that position vacant for 1 year.
That is no but MAO. So for me, one, I think that NRM, you know, Antamong is also a shrewd politician. He understood two things. One, he understood how to be near power, but also he understood the value of money when it comes to politics, most especially to members of parliament who at the right price can sell their parents. It's the reason why in the last campaign, I think 2021, they were bought tablets, were given money. So he knows what he does. Recently he came out to say that he doesn't want to become president. In 2030 he's going to retire. That's all politics, because that when he came out to say that, it was a sign that he's not sure that he's going to get be speaker. So she said that because he wants to catch the eye of the president. But remember, General Kaguta Museveni is a master of politics. He is the master of double speak. So for me, I think when Anita Mong came out to say that, he was painting a picture, but she doesn't want to be president, but her actions show contrary. So for me, I think NRM is the root cause in all members of parliament. How can we fail to get a better option? Even members of parliament know that this is the reason as to why. Why do you think that the most competition is with the Speaker of Parliament? Because even members of Parliament see that he has failed, he has lowered the battle law. There's not much competition on deputy speakership. Because at least, even I'm opposition, I want change, but Taiwa is a better option. Of course, it's my opinion. It's truly Mr. Makinde Kabesulaiman Magal. If you're into this channel, please subscribe, like, and comment so that I'm motivated to do more offset videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.